We now focus our attention onto boxing once again. The fight that's been booked for June 23rd, 2017, taking place at the O2. Dillian Whyte versus Mariusz Wach. I was a little bit surprised when I heard this fight. It's not an easy fight for Dillian Whyte. He is someone who gives the fans good value. He is someone who isn't scared of a challenge. And he is someone who's very knowledgeable about boxing. And he's very sure about the path that he's on. He wants to go to the top. He wants to be a world champion. He wants to contend for a world championship. He's a very smart guy. He knows the business. He's not someone that promoters can hoodwink. He's a very shrewd guy. He's a very intelligent guy. When you hear his interviews, he does a lot of interviews in the media, on YouTube, whatever. And when you hear him speak, he's a very sharp tack. He knows everything. He knows the route to the top. But having said that, I look at this fight and I think, he knows all this stuff, and then he's taken on a difficult fight like this. I just hope that there's a good paycheck in this one for him, because he's going to have a hard night's work when he steps into the squared circle with Mariusz Wach. Wach is a serious guy. If you look at that resume, 33 victories, 2 losses, 0 draws, and the losses are against Alexander Povetkin and Vladimir Klitschko. So it took guys of the very highest order to get past Mariusz Wach. Whyte's record 21-0, the only one loss being the Anthony Joshua fight, where he got that shot away in the second round, shook up Joshua, but overall Joshua got it done. I think Whyte has got a lot more serious since that fight. His conditioning is better, his fitness is better. He's always been mentally good, but I think he's got even better mentally. I think he's very ambitious, and I think he has a better idea of his route to the top since that Joshua loss. But he's also got those victories over Ian Lewison. That was a good workout for him. Got through that. Dave Allen, obviously that feature fight with Chisora, which was amazing. I mean, it was heart-stopping from a betting point of view. I was on Dillian Whyte, and I just thought, even after the fight had finished, I hope Whyte had nicked it, but who knew? I mean, people to this day are saying Chisora won. Derek Chisora thinks he won, and he's more than entitled to that opinion. It was extremely close. Either could have gone. I mean, Whyte was out on his feet at the end. The last shot, I nearly fell off my chair. I nearly fell off the sofa onto the floor. Thought my money had gone, because he was out. He's not the sort of guy to go down, is he, Whyte? But he stays on his feet. He was kind of out on his feet and was kind of swaying a little bit. Chisora was in a similar sort of state as well, but I was just concerned that Whyte could have gone. But he got the victory. There is an argument to say he's won. There was an argument to say Chisora won, so it was very close. When I look at this fight with Wach, I almost think the rematch with Chisora may make slightly more sense. You're going to get more money. It's going to gross more money. He knows Chisora inside out. He knows, his trainer. He knows his setup. He talks about it all the time. He's beaten him once. He knows what he's up against. He can train for it. Massive grossing fight, pay-per-view fight, loads of money. His argument is that he wants to move up and onwards from Chisora, and he sees Wach as an improvement on Chisora. Yeah, I mean, someone who has only been beaten by Klitschko and Povetkin, you could arguably say it's a step up from Chisora. I don't know. I think it's a dangerous fight. I'm just really hope that there's a good paycheck in this for Dillian Whyte, because it's not that he can't beat him. I expect him to win, but it's what he's going to have to go through to get the win. He's going to have to go through hell and high water. I mean, Wach is a guy who took the best of Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko got through the guard of Wach. We know how heavy-handed Vladimir is with that, the right hand. Dr. Steelhammer and all that with the right hand. He landed it flush on Wach's chin, and Wach just kind of shook it up, looked around a little bit, and said, is that all you got? To Vladimir Klitschko, one of the most heaviest-handed heavyweights of all time, one of the greatest of all time. So, it takes a lot to dispose of Wach. So, I hope. Well, he does know. Dillian Whyte knows it's a difficult fight. He knows it's going to be a test. It's just a bit confusing for me, because he's in a position now where he's kind of fringing around, the title shot sort of area. If you heard Dillian Whyte was in a title shot, some people would say it's slightly premature, but I think most people would say, well, fair enough. It's a lot worse people. I mean, look who AJ had to beat Charles Martin to get the belt, and I would say that, You know, I would insult Dillian Whyte by even having to say that he's better than Charles Martin. Dillian Whyte's a serious operator. He's a decent boxer, very good boxer, has a lot of potential, has a lot of experience. And yeah, I mean, he's taking on a test here because it's basically down to how you view it. It's Dillian Whyte's boxing skill against Mariusz Wach's durability, strong chin, and strong punch. If you haven't got your defence sorted, if you get caught by a clean shot from Mariusz Wach, you could be in serious trouble. It could stall your career because it could finish you, and that's how this fight is going to play out from a betting point of view. You're saying if Dillian Whyte wins, it's likely to be points. He's got decent power at the weight. I wouldn't say he's the heaviest-handed heavyweight, but he's got decent power. I don't see him knocking out Wach. Um, Vladimir Klitschko couldn't do it. Povetkin couldn't do it. Having said that, we do have to understand that Wach has taken the abuse of those fights now. You know, he's not the same. You know, I'm not saying. I don't know if his punch resilience is exactly the same as it was prior to the fights with Vladimir and Povetkin. He's taken a lot of heavy artillery. His work rate isn't that. Um, his work rate isn't that great. Wach. I mean, he puts his hands up and he defends himself with a high guard, and he has to because his work rate isn't that quick. He's not as quick as someone like Whyte. So if Wach is going to win, it's going to be down to his durability. He's going to have to take a little bit of punishment. He's going to have to be brave. He's going to have to back himself and look to land his big shot. He's going to have to look for the knockout. If it goes a distance, I see Whyte getting the victory. Um, it's a really good fight. It's a really interesting fight. And you have to credit Dillian Whyte. He gives the fans huge value. He knows what he's capable of. He knows the routes to the top, and hopefully he can get through this and continue his path to the top. But he'll have to work very hard to get past Wach. You know, when people like Klitschko are landing their best, and it's not getting rid of him. You have to really respect Mariusz Wach, respect his durability. You've also got to respect the reach and height advantage, and this is a huge thing. Dillian Whyte, he's tall. He's tall. He's not tall as Mariusz Wach. Mariusz Wach has got a hell of a reach advantage. He's got a height advantage. If he has a strategy and comes into this trying to utilise that height, it could be a really difficult fight for Dillian Whyte. I think Alexander Povetkin has given Dillian Whyte the blueprint. He was a shorter man than Mariusz Wach, and he worked out a way to get it done with a good work rate, throwing uppercuts, getting in on the inside. I think he mixed up levels and distances quite well, Povetkin. He always looks to try and get on the inside and langing these looping uppercuts. That will work for Dillian Whyte. He's got to give him respect, but you know, all in all, if Whyte sticks to his boxing, sticks to a game plan, he should be able to grind out a points victory. Odds-wise, if I was the bookie, I would have Dillian Whyte 4-6, something around that sort of region. The draw 20, 25. No, hold on. Yeah, 4-6 Whyte, 25-1 the draw, 6-4 Mariusz Wach. That's how I see it. So if you look at those odds, Whyte is the favourite, but Wach, you know, is far from a huge underdog. You know, Wach 6-4, Whyte 4-6. There are no official prices out for this. That's my pricing. I can see the bookies pricing at 1-3 Dillian Whyte. The reason why they're going to take a lot of money on the Whyte side. I think they'll take more money on the Whyte side than they will on Wach. They want to balance the books, so they'll shorten up Whyte around 1-3, something like that. And you'll have Mariusz Wach at 3-1. The draw 28-1. I'm not going to speculate too much. These are figures I've made up, right? You know, if you're going to get Wach at 3-1, there's a little bit of value there, I would say. He's a very big man. He's got the height and reach advantage. It's heavyweight. He could get the knockout. I'm going to side with Whyte, though. I just think he has too many boxing skills. There's another side to this. I think Whyte is a very ambitious man. Hugely ambitious. He's hugely intelligent. Not to say that Wach isn't. But I think Whyte... I just get the feeling. I don't know Mariusz Wach. I don't know Dillian Whyte personally. I can only go by what I've heard. But I just think there's that hunger from Whyte. I think there's that ambition from Whyte. I think there's that intelligence from Whyte. And I think I just get the impression he's a little bit more hungry than Mariusz Wach. Could be wrong. And I'm happy to have people put in the comments what they want. Maybe people that know Wach better might have something else to say. Maybe he's a hugely driven individual and he's going to come into this fight with Dillian Whyte and he's going to let everyone know exactly who he is. But I think Whyte, from what I know of him and what I know of his background, he's a hungry guy, he's an intelligent guy. He's going to know what he needs to do. He's going to have his training. The way he's sorted out his conditioning after the Joshua fight has been impressive. He's been moving in the right direction. coming off that win at Chisora, I mean, the paydays have been going up. His popularity has been going up. He's worked his way into a position where he's a name now in British boxing. He's a name in world boxing. As I said earlier, if he was, put up for a title fight, no one would bat an eyelid. He'd be perfectly creditable, perfectly ready. He's already shared the ring with Joshua, and had his moment in the sun. Landed that shot, second round. Anthony Joshua, he didn't know where he was for a second or two. But he did steady the ship and got it done in the end, Joshua. I think Dillian Whyte will also, in the back of his mind, be thinking about a rematch with Joshua at some stage. If he can keep his record clean, keep the wins coming in. It's not just the title. I don't think he's looking at Joshua directly now. I think he's looking at the title shot. He wants the world title. And as he knows, if he can get a world title, then a fight with Joshua, a rematch, would be even bigger. Obviously, Anthony Joshua's got problems of his own at the moment, with Vladimir Klitschko in the offering. And that is far from a certainty. Although the bookies have that at 2 to 5, I'm not sure about that pricing. Vladimir Klitschko is going to give him a serious test. And if you see the video I've done on that, at the prices, I'm looking at Vladimir on that one. But getting back to this one, we haven't got prices. In terms of the win, I'll be looking at Dillian Whyte. Method, I'd be thinking about points. Wach has a puncher's chance. If you want a bit of value and the odds are big enough, you might look at Wach. For me at this stage, the lean will be Dillian Whyte. When the odds come out, I might add something to the comments, may do another video. For the time being, Dillian Whyte, Mariusz Wach. The lean is Dillian Whyte.